Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Everybody, it's Tuesday night, time for another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony has nine fingers for now because he lost internet twice before we got
the power went out, so who knows what's going on. But while I'm here, what's going on, people?
Yeah, and Angel's here with us this week as well.
What's up, guys? I apologize for fucking around with Tony's internet.
In his power, yeah. So, Tony, would you like to introduce our very special guest?
Sure, returning for I think like a third time. Writer, director, actor, whatever, everything and anything. Michael Leavy. How are you?
What's up, sir?
Great. It's awesome to be back on here, and it's exciting to be talking about what we're going to be talking about today. And it's just a pleasure to be on the show again. Always love hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, it's a good time. So we have we've had you on. This is going back to even like Rock and Shock days. This is when we first met you guys. But yeah, it's you guys don't disappoint. That's for sure. And you guys seem to be progressing and you're not disappointing as well. Like the movies are just getting better and better. Actually, Angel and I just the other weekend recorded a trailer like breakdown and reaction kind of thing for stream.
Yeah, that'll be dropping on Friday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's only going to be audio, right?
Yeah, audio.
Yeah, just audio only.
I'm still tagging Mike. I'm still tagging Michael so he can blast.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm one of those guys that I avoid trailers. I try to avoid trailers, but when he's like, no, this one dropped, you need to watch it and we need to talk about it. I'm like, all right. And I waited till like that day and I watched it like, oh yeah, this is what's up. But so we do have that trailer and there's a Red Band trailer. It's like a short Red Band trailer that shows a little bit of the gore in there too. So we'll play both. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So when did this all start? Because this has been a process for Stream, right? You guys have been working on this one for a bit.
Yeah, it started actually many years ago. I believe it was 2016 is where the idea first came from. And it was when, cryptocurrency started coming up and Bitcoin and, a lot of all that stuff going on with currency and exchange and the internet. And, we wanted to do a horror film and we wanted to do a slasher and we kind of wanted to modernize it and, kind of bring it into this 21st century. A lot of the slasher films that are around, they're all, based in the 80s or they're like very 80s style, which I love. And Stream does have a lot of that as well. But again, we wanted to update it. So from 2016, 2017, we were working on it and just kept honing it in. Obviously, met Damien Leone and got involved with the Terrifier franchise. And through that, I think Stream became a little more gory and, a little more creative in its kills than originally conceived. And we finally ended up getting the funding for it. And we were going to go right after Terrifier 2. But then COVID hit and it got delayed. Even Terrifier 2 got delayed. Obviously, we all know what happened there. And, we just used that time while we were basically quarantined to get the ducks in a row, get our talent, get any other extra financing we might need, and try to plan when we're going to shoot it. We ended up shooting it in the height of the pandemic. However, we were one of the first films to come out and like get a waiver or whatever to shoot. It was like early 2021. So it was like right after, the holidays of 2020. We thought it was going to be down and it ended up spiking like crazy. there was no vaccines, there was no, it was just masks. It was really interesting to kind of navigate that. So that's why I'm super proud of everything that we had gone through to get this film completed. And then, we finished it in 2022 and took 23 to really edit it and get it ready for, here we are, 2024.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I had talked to David at Con in upstate New York. This is before the Grinch-ish movie came out. The Mean Ones.
The Mean One.
You guys had something to do with that too, right?
Well, for The Mean One, so the director of The Mean One is a good friend of mine, Stephen Lamorte. I went to high school with him.
Oh, nice.
And we kind of kept in touch, obviously, over the years. We were good friends in high school. We were both part of the television studio there. So we both really got our start at the same high school, which actually happens to be the same high school as the Impractical Jokers. If anybody is aware of that show. And, he had The Mean One. He was telling me about it because I think he had like a trailer, like a concept trailer, a little spoof thing, and it kind of was getting hits. And he said he was going to do a feature, and they were looking for someone to play the Grinch. And we had just come out of Terrifier, the first one. And I said, well, we got this guy, David Howard Thornton. He's pretty perfect, I think, to portray the Grinch or a variation of the Grinch. And we recommended him and got him involved in that. And we helped our buddy Steve out. We also got David to be a part of that film. And then we were always looking for a project to work together on. And I'm sure we're going to talk about it soon. But we ended up collaborating on the Screamboat, which is a playoff of Steamboat Willie. So we're coming together on that.
Yeah, that's exciting too. Like I like when he announced that they were going to be doing a movie about it. It was before I heard that David was even going to be part of it. I was like, oh, that's cool, because I'd seen like videos online of like it was almost like video game kind of stuff, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And then like, oh, they're going to do a movie about it. I'm like, oh, that like on it. I'm like, that's pretty dope. And then I was like, oh, David's going to be the mouse. I'm like, that's sick too. And I'm like, this dude's getting all the cool parts. And then come to find out, it's all the other people that we also know that are making all the cool movies is what it is. But yeah, I'm super excited for everybody.
Yeah, that was when everybody was like, oh, it's in the public domain, and you started seeing these mock trailers popping up and like different variations, and then but then you started seeing some like actual serious like and then came out that it was you guys in the team and everything. And I was like, okay, so that no one can touch this now, because I never.
Yeah, it's funny that we were talking about that for it was Stephen Lamorte, the director, brought that to our attention maybe 2 years ago and was saying, this is a chance to be going into the public domain. What do you guys think? And I was a little apprehensive at first because I don't like touching the public domain stuff. So it's not my thing. But after talking with Steve and seeing a script, I realized that there's a chance to do some really cool satire and funny things with it, as well as being scary. Yeah. So after seeing where the script was headed, I said, yeah, this could be really cool and this could be fun. And, it could have a really cool audience for it, and we could be creative. It's not just a cash in, which I didn't want to do. Yeah. I wanted to have integrity with it. So once all the pieces started coming together, it was an easy decision to do it, as well as also finding the right project to collaborate with Steven on. He found his little niche, and we have our niche with the gore and, obviously our production value and stuff. So it's really cool to bring the two worlds together and show something entertaining and fun and something I think that could be a really cool ride.
Yeah.
I guess that's the beauty of the indie, scene, where it's like you can mesh things together and groups come together and the connections that you all make. And that's why I think, especially for most horror fans nowadays, I think their heads are turning the opposite way. Instead of going for the mainstream stuff, they're finally turning the right way to the indie world.
It is, and that's actually the thing that I'm most proud of with what we have done with Terrifier 2, was that I think, and it's cool that we were a part of this, was I think that because of the success of Terrifier 2, especially in the theaters and the amount of attention that was put on it, it opened up a lot of, audience members' eyes to say, oh, wow, you know, there is something to be said here about indie filmmakers. And I think it opened up a lot of opportunity for, you know, fellow indie filmmakers. And that's something I'm the most proud of because, you know, it gives us a chance. And now there's other films that are coming in A Violent Nature and, you know, Blood and Honey and The Mean One and, you know, now Stream. And, you know, there's so many others that are now Cinema Rink. You know, again, whether you like these films or don't, at least they're getting attention because you're able to have new voices and fresh ideas, you know, kind of enter the fold in the mix. And you never know what's going to come out of that. So I think it's a really interesting, fun, and exciting time for indie horror.
I was hoping Jamie Hill would be in the chat. She was in it like last week. Jamie Hill was the mom in Skinamarink, and she pops up in our chat a lot.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
she's great.
She's been on my on my Facebook Lives every now and again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's making her way through.
Yeah, she's good people. She's good people.
It's good because I think like I forget what year it was, but I saw a short film called Laura Can't Sleep, and then I fucking loved that short. Found out, you know, it was like on some college type deal, like made, and then out of the blue, I saw Paramount picks up Laura Can't Sleep creator Parker to, you know, make it into a feature, which turned into Smile, and now it's Smile 2. So I'm just like, you could like how you said, like you see, you know, where like it kind of opens doors. You know what I mean? To like,
and I loved Smile. There's going to be a convention in Connecticut coming up, and like Sosie Bacon's going to be there, and like now I have to go. I would love to meet Sosie Bacon. I thought she was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed Smile as well.
Yeah, it was a good time. And she's wicked funny too. But anyway, Jamie Hill's in the chat right now.
Hey, what up?
Sergio's in the chat as well. I don't want to ignore Serge, but he's living the same pain Tony was living. What's up, Jamie? But yeah, Sergio's dealing with the power going off and on. It must be stormy out your way in New Jersey.
Yeah,
Joyzy. Yeah, we had that like the last couple days. Today wasn't so bad, but yeah. So Stream. It's star-studded for horror fans.
That's a understatement.
An understate. Yeah, I was about to say.
That's I've got the list pulled up.
As soon as people would pop up, I was like, no way.
Yeah, it says
what? And I'm like, Tony Todd. What? Like,
yeah, I was like, hey, this was for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danielle Harris, Jeffrey Combs, Dee Wallace, Tim Reed, Mark Holton, Felissa Rose, Tony Todd, Daniel Roebuck, Dave Sheridan, Terry Alexander, Damien Maffei, Bill Mosley, which I think just recently got announced, right? It was kind of like people started like, was that Bill in the trailer?
Yeah, we threw him in the trailer. I was trying to see if I could slip him in there.
And people saw it.
They saw, yep, they our fans are great. They went through freeze frame by freeze frame. Even in the new Red Band trailer we just dropped, you could see a Terrifier poster in the back. We threw a
really?
And somebody caught it within 15 minutes.
And then last one on here that's on this list is David Howard Thornton, obviously. And he's player 2, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, player 2.
You know why? Because he's the shit. That's why. No, he's a great dude. And I'm super happy for him. Like super happy. Like he couldn't happen to a nicer guy, like for real.
So question for you, since you got all these awesome people, like how did you build the relationship to get these people to get onto the movie and like, come along on the ride? You know what I mean? Because like this is stacked with a lot of people that people know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It starts with a good script, I think, first and foremost. We didn't go into this like originally saying we want to get a whole bunch of horror icons and put them in the movie. It started off with saying, hey, we have a really fun and cool idea. Let's kind of roll with it. And then it was like, let's just see where the casting kind of goes. And what was really cool is obviously being horror fans ourselves, you approach certain people like, oh, I'd like to work with this person, or I'd like to see this person in the role. Mm-hmm. Everybody that we approached that ended up actually saying yes to the film, they were all specific to the characters that, that we wanted. And, when we showed Jeffrey Combs, for example, Jeff read the script and he immediately said, yeah, I'm in. I want to do this. This isn't just your normal, just kind of mundane killing slasher film, even though it has, a lot of kills.
Yeah.
What he liked the most was its story, and that's something I was really, really proud of, and also a stickler with. I says, I want there to be some character development. I want there to be some good story in the beginning. So, like, it's got like a nice little slow burn in the beginning, but that once we go, and we don't look back. And that's what I think is pretty cool. And, I'm curious to see how fans kind of relate to that. I want them to kind of get lost in the story and almost forget from the people from Terrifier for just a moment, and just kind of get lost in it. And then we'll remind them very, very quickly, who's making this film. But, in the beginning of that, we want them to really be invested. This is a new story. This is not like Terrifier, it's its own thing. Obviously there's similarities, but there's also many major differences.
Yeah.
And I
just
wouldn't
from the, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tony.
I was just going to say, with character development, I, found you guys through Abnormal Attraction. And that was one of those things where, it built up character development there. And it's just like, I don't see anything changing from there. I'm sure you can build your characters up.
Yeah,
great.
for sure. Yeah. And that's what kind of, I guess it's the same in some way because, there's a lot of people. And you got to also be careful with that in the sense of like, how do you balance out screen time? And, you saw what we did with Abnormal Attraction. I think everybody had their fair share of screen time in that film. And obviously we've gotten even better over the years of just learning how to balance things. But again, like I said, it wasn't like it was, hey, let's get Jeffrey Combs, let's get Dee Wallace, let's get Felissa Rose. Let's just, pack this thing out. I hate when films you see them for one line, they say hello and they're gone. I really wanted to make sure, like there are obviously some roles that are bigger, than others, but by no means are they really cameos. And to me, a cameo is you literally come in, it's like a shot or two, they say a line and they're gone, and it's like, what? And it's almost like it doesn't make sense, and it almost takes you out of the story. So we made sure that these were real characters. They were playing, real people that we had written, and they just so happened to get the part because they fit the role, and also they were good for the role. They were good actors for it. So that's, and again, they all read it. They liked it. Again, you got to remember, like this was all cast before the success. Like Terrifier 2 wasn't out when we shot it.
Yeah, I know. That was editing that up.
So, we had obviously a really good reputation with some of our work from, things like the YouTube stuff with Halloween 60 and the spoofy stuff to Normal Attraction to their first Terrifier. But we were nowhere near the recognition of kind of where we are now. So a lot of these actors weren't thinking like, I'm going to be a part of something that's going to be like Terrifier. There was no, they didn't even know. They heard us because we all just came off of Terrifier. Jeffrey Combs was here and like us talking like, and on Terrifier 2. And it was like, what is this Terrifier 2 you're talking about? And then
I was like, can I be in 3, please? Can I be in 3? Yeah.
Right. And then it kind of exploded. It was like, oh, wow. So this was all before that. And then obviously it was all worked on. I remember Damien was literally in his hotel room editing Terrifier 2 as we were shooting. And I remember seeing scenes, we were watching scenes like after we were wrapping or at lunch or something that he was putting together in between takes of Terrifier 2 and Stream. So
that's crazy.
That's awesome. Just like a whole just group of people like just fucking firing on all cylinders. I don't know, back and forth.
Ronald Black, what's
up, Ronald? I see
Stream. I was gonna say that looked like a stream mask in the back.
Yep, he's awesome. He actually started the Facebook group with a bunch of other people. Montavious, I saw, was in here. Joined the Stream official, the official group or the official fan page or whatever. And it's great. There's a lot of people who are excited that's getting in there. It's growing every day. Awesome. It's kind of like the Art the Clown Appreciation Society in a way. This is for Stream. And it's awesome just to see the hype and just to see people, excited and talking about the movie. It's very, very humbling and very cool.
Yeah. It looks awesome. The one thing, and I hope it, because I say this in the trailer review that Angel and I, not to ruin it, but
no spoiler.
I said that it reminded just in Jeffrey Combs' performance and stuff like that. It gave me the vibe of like almost like The Running Man. But
Yeah,
obviously,
a lot of people have been. I got to see The Running Man, I guess, at this point.
it's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, everyone has been saying that, and I haven't actually seen The Running Man at all. So I try to stay away, at least when I'm working on films that could be considered similar, to not make it or anything. And then afterwards, I'll take a look at them. So it's definitely on my list to watch for sure.
The only thing with that one is that the main guy in that was the dude from Family Feud back in the day, Richard Dawson.
Yeah, kiss you on the lips guy.
That guy was that guy in the movie. But that's not a bad thing at all. Like it's a great movie, and there's been other movies that they've tried to do that.
I'm excited to definitely check it out, and I will.
Yeah, I would wait till after the movie's out. Then be like, I'm gonna sit down and watch Running Man, but I have to get prepared for Terrifier 5 or something, whatever's next. But yeah, we saw the teaser trailer for that as well, and that looks amazing as well.
And that's
I dropped the Red Band trailer in our chat today, and I was like, "Hey, this is dropped a few ago." It's his favorite
for stream.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we had a blast. Look, we had a blast. It's been a busy, couple of years. We after Terrifier 2 did Stream, and then from Stream, I worked on a few little projects in between as we were gearing up for Terrifier 3, and then obviously shooting Terrifier 3, finishing up Stream, working on SCREAMBOAT. So it's been really busy, but it's all good stuff. And Terrifier 3 is going to be one hell of a ride, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe some of the things we were doing. When I read the script, I was like, I questioned myself and if I even wanted to do the movie.
Like, I don't think you could do this.
Oh my goodness. I even texted David, and it was like the first scene. I was like, dude, really? I was like, all right, I'm in, let's go.
And just to remind people that it will be listening before the date it comes out, by the way. So it comes out on August 21st, and it's going to be in some select theaters, but you can buy your tickets. If you're watching, there's a little ticker at the bottom. It's what is it?
iconicreleasing.com/event/stream/tickets.
Bro, you got that tattooed on your fucking arm.
I got my old man eyes working right now. So it's
is our partners in bringing it to the theaters. They're the same group, same company that brought Terrifier 2 to the theaters. Brought the re-release of Terrifier. They're bringing Terrifier 3. They're bringing SCREAMBOAT. They're bringing Stream. So it's the same. It's the same.
Bro, So in essence, it's like you guys started, with like your ideas, and now it's like exponentially every time you put a new idea together, new projects, or expand on the idea, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and like it's all like together, like with like it's awesome to see the growth.
And that's
years, man.
That's like the grassroots of it at that point in time. It's like two entities coming together, and then sometimes it works. Like this is proven to work. Sometimes it doesn't, but this definitely, I mean, especially with Terrifier 2, where it's just like it got into the mainstream. Like not only like,
totally in the
on wrestling. I was watching WWE and they were talking about Art the Clown. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember seeing an NFL game and one of the Buffalo Bills was wearing Art the Clown cleats. It has definitely broken.
That's weird.
Very cool. It definitely
like bigger podcasts. Like I watch a lot of like podcasts that are hosted by stand-up comics, and I know Annie Letterman was all about. She loved it and she wanted to be killed in it, and I know she's in 3. I heard another comic that was on Legion of Skanks recently, and she's like, "Oh, I got killed in it too." They're like, "What? How did you do that? Like how?" And she didn't say how, but she was like a lesser known comic, but she got killed in it too. I'm just like, that's awesome.
It's good. But speaking on the trailer, the part that got me was when Art dropped down to his butt and did a blood angel, and I was like,
I'm really proud of that blood angel. Damien came up with that idea, and believe it or not, it almost didn't make the film because we were running out of time in the location. I had actually secured us that particular location where we were shooting at, and we really were running out of time. Like we had to leave, but I fought very hard just stay there so Damien can get that blood angel. And even Damien at one point was like, hey, you know, we're going to be able to make this blood angel. And I said, dude, we have to. And afterwards he was like, thank you for fighting for this. Because, I mean, how do you not? You're filming Christmas movie, Christmas horror. That is just such a talked about image. It looks cool. It's awesome. And as a fan, I said, I need to see this.
Yes.
We had a great idea. Dave had a great idea. So we made it happen. I begged the location. I sold the doors. So I said, I'll stay late. I'll clean up the blood myself. Don't worry. Tell the maintenance guys to go home. Whatever we needed to do to get that blood angel in there, we did it and we got it done.
That's awesome, dude.
Because that's going to be the scene that everybody talks about.
Totally. It already is.
It's
I've shown the trailer to a bunch of people that have seen Terrifier 1 and 2, and I'm like, oh, have you seen the trailer for the next one or the teaser for the next one? And like, whenever that comes up, it's like, oh man, I'm like, yep.
It's so, you know, because you harken back with that of like, you know, the nostalgia of like, you know, hanging out with friends and like fucking around in the snow, and it's like a wholesome time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
not so much.
It's and I like that the color. I don't know if the whole film's gonna be like that, but there was like a little bit of a throwback feel with the like the color grading or
we
talked about that.
Yeah, it's different from Terrifier 2 was very bright, and Damien wanted, you know, the audience to see everything and be very fantastical looking. This film is much more back to the grittiness.
Yeah,
you know, of even like John Carpenter, 1978, Black Christmas, Nightmare. You know, pockets of darkness, pockets of light. That's very deliberate, and the film was shot on the old Panasonic lenses, it's going to have a very retro, very film looking, you know. Yeah, it's really, we had a great.
That's exactly what I said. I said the contrasty look, the darkness. I said it's giving me Black Christmas.
Yeah, you're gonna Yep. That was very intentional and deliberate between Damien, George Stuber, our DP, and obviously the G&E team.
And what did I say? It reminded me of like some like Italian horror, somewhat, just because of the contrast and everything.
Yeah. Terrifier 3, like that.
But today it's about Scream, which is coming out August 21st in select theaters. You can go buy your tickets there, like Angel's going to do, and I'm going to do. We're going to see it in Millbury.
Yeah, that's what, because the next one was in Rhode Island, which is farther away.
Providence. Yeah.
So
Providence Place Mall, I think. Yeah, Millbury.
Blackstone.
Yeah, it's in theaters for a limited time right now, so it's from August 21st to the 25th, and hopefully, if our fan base shows up like you guys did for Terrifier 2 and support it and hopefully enjoy it, and then we can get expanded with more theaters and extended the runtime. But again, that doesn't happen unless people show up. So show up on that first day, help us make an explosion, and you know, obviously that first weekend or whatever. I promise you, we definitely do deliver on the kills and the gore, but I think we have a really cool story. I think it's a fun ride. I'm really proud of it, and everybody works so hard, and we got a great cast. And you know, it's like I said, it's different from Terrifier, but it's also got some through lines, and I just think it's a fun ride. It's one of those movies where you just come out and you're like, that was fun, that was entertaining. You know?
Yeah. Speaking of fun and entertaining in the cast and everything, let's play the theatrical trailer. And then we'll come back. I'm just getting it pulled up here. So yeah, this is 2 minutes, 33 seconds. So we'll be right back. It's a theatrical trailer for Scream in theaters, August 21st. And we'll be right back.
Why don't we go away tomorrow? It would do the whole family some good.
Okay, let's do it. Welcome to the Pines.
This place isn't half bad now, is it?
This inn is about spending quality time with the people that you love, because you never know just how limited that time is.
Showtime!
Everything
Everything's locked up.
Every door in this damn place is that way.
So we're trapped.
You and I need to figure out what the hell's going on.
Tonight, we are running a game.
Eliminated.
That each of you have unknowingly signed up for when checking in. Our game is a rather unusual one.
Double kill.
I would be remiss if I didn't welcome our 4 All-Stars. It is now a competition. Style points.
300.
More kills equals more points. Creativity counts. Games are as old as the world.
What are you talking about? A game? These are people's lives, for Christ's sake.
You have an audience. Blood on the ground means points on the board. Buckle up. Warm-ups are over, ladies and gents. Let's play ball!
We hope you enjoy your stay here with us as much as we will.
Happy hunting!
Hell yeah.
Looks pretty dope to me. Just saying.
Dude, I love Jeffrey Combs, man.
Same. And I might just because I haven't looked at the IMDb fully, but the guy that was tied up in the chair, was that Francis?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Mark Colton. Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Also Ozzy from Leprechaun. He's in both.
Whenever I see him, I just have to think Francis. That's all I have to think. You gotta have like, hopefully there's black stuff coming out of his mouth.
And he was in Little Giants. He was one of the fathers in Little Giants.
I'm telling you though, I've seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure so much. No matter what that guy does, it's gonna be Francis. It's unfortunate for him because whatever. It sticks with me.
That's the beauty of this too, is there's so many like generations of horror in there, because you're like, you have the Dee Wallaces and the Tony Todds, but then you got the newer crop of what horror will be. So it's like a perfect mix of, I think it's going to hit with, the older horror fans where they can look and be like, oh, Dee Wallace is here, and like Tony Todd and Tim Reed from It and stuff. And then you got the newer, David Howard Thornton and Damien Maffei, and Danielle Harris is like parked right in between where it's like Halloween and some of her new stuff. So, it's definitely going to be a perfect mix for sure.
It's going to be sick is what it's going to be. A friend of mine went to see, I took him to see Terrifier 2 in the theater because he was not a fan of the first one. And I completely, watching Terrifier in the theater, Terrifier 2 in the theater, completely made him have to rethink everything. And he's like, I love it now. Whatever. But I think maybe I'll bring him along with us, Angel. Just be like, hey, why don't you come see some Fuzz on the Lens stuff? Yeah. It's not just, Terrifier. The producers do some pretty dope shit too. So,
Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah, we need as many people to check it out as they can. And again, I think, our goal with this also is to kind of appeal to a wider audience this time around as well. Like Terrifier, obviously when it started was very culty with, it was very niche with people who were gore hounds. Obviously it broke into the mainstream because of that, where people were fainting and stuff in the theaters. With Stream, again, even though we deliver on the gore and the guts and the blood, it's a splatter fest. It's different presentation of killing, if that makes sense. Art the Clown is very nasty and gruesome, and his violence it could get sickening and disgusting in a way, because that's his torture. That's what gets Art.
Obviously, in a way.
Yeah.
In a way.
In a way,
yeah.
You know what I mean.
Completely.
In this film, it's Art the Clown's not there. We're more in the line with gory kills, but we don't kind of go into where someone's eating a heart or something like. You know what I mean?
Right.
We try to keep it still creative, however, because it is a game of creativity.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. That's what I was just about to say when he says, you know, you get points for creativity, like, you know. But then I go, who gets the points for creativity? You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah. So I mean,
know it's. I can't wait to see. Like you said, I want to because I do like you said that what you said earlier was that there is a story and you're gonna let the characters breathe.
Yep.
So, you know, before you fucking turn the heat up. So I can't wait to see because like I said, it's stacked with people that, you know, I mean you're even in it.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it here, and you know, I think your brother's in it too, right? Yeah, right there.
Yeah, my brother's player one. Yeah, you know, so I think it's a good film to bridge kind of that gap between mainstream horror lovers that might not love the gore, but now they can kind of take a chance on this and you know, dip their feet a little bit. We'll shock them for sure, but you know, it's where something I think I hope they can handle. So again, we
I mean,
opened it up a little bit more, I think, for this one.
Yeah, it kind of. I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet, but it's kind of like, you know, an escape room like nightmare type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
with the setting.
Fun, yeah, it's a fun movie, and that's what I really want and hope everybody takes away from it. It's fun and entertaining, and you know that's really what we went into. We had a blast making it. It was super. It was a really, really awesome time. I was with some of the best people in the world, some of my best friends. You know that we all worked together on Terrifier and Film Attraction and Screamboat. Like a lot of us all work together on different things. So we try to keep that team intact.
So speaking of,
just real quick in the chat, Life is Pain is in the chat. He's from the UK.
What up?
Is there anything? He missed the trailer, so he's Sergio for the night. We have the Red Band trailer, which is gory, but you're gonna have to go out and find the theatrical trailer, or I can send it to you. I can do that too.
Yeah. Just go to our YouTube, Fuzz on the Lens.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Yep, it's right there, literally. But now, is there going to be any kind of theatrical stuff going on in the UK? Do you know, or is it just?
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. The UK keeps popping up, which is funny because you know when you hear from the statistics from the people who tell you
the metrics.
Yeah, the metrics. I don't like listening to metrics. Obviously, we're grassroots, like you said before. We're against the grain, against the studios. Terrifier wouldn't exist if we listened to the metrics. But they're like, you know, there's not really a horror market. I think in the UK.
Put it on. Trust. Put it out there. Trust.
I said, let me tell you something. We got a lot of great fans from Terrifier, and I've gotten it's coming to the UK. It's coming to the UK. I said, look, we talk to our fans, we engage with our fans. I know where they are and what they want.
Put one right here, one here.
So we are working on it. We're working on bringing it internationally. The UK, Spain, Germany. It's going to be in Mexico. It's in Canada. It's just opened up now. It's just going to be a little later. Than the August 21st window. They have a plan of when it's going to be. It's going to be obviously this year, but it's going to be a little later just because it's a little different with, you know, even though the UK and stuff is English speaking, we have to come out, you know, because then you got to worry about copyright, pirating and things. So everything kind of has to come out in the UK at the same time or else you know, run into people stealing it and dubbing it on their own. And then you kind of miss a window of getting it into their country in theaters. So we're working on it. We just have to get every deal in place. So this way it could all come out at once. And the dubbing is kind of what slows things down.
Yeah. And Jamie Hill gave it 6 thumbs ups and a heart.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Means a lot. And hope you're doing well. Thank you for checking in.
Yeah. And Life is Pain says he'll just rewatch the show. So
awesome.
That makes sense too. You could always do that. We appreciate that.
And I must say too, like what I think now is growing on TikTok is the horror talk community.
It is.
There's a bunch of people. I put up a little video for the trailer and got some feedback from it. And growing, I was on the movie talk side. Now I'm trying to shimmy my way into the horror talk community.
It's huge. It's so big. It's getting bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it's growing and growing and growing. There's a bunch of awesome dudes on there. There's this guy, Chuck. I'll give him a little shout out. I think he did a trailer reaction too. He wants to be your movie guy, he says. But, you know, he, you know, I think the, you know, beauty of social media. If you use it to your advantage, which I think now it's just a grassroots thing there too. It's like if the horror community sees something they want and want people to see, they'll do it themselves. So I think with the growingness of that, I think that might help you guys too.
Yeah, and it's true. Like this film, Terrifier, it's the same in that kind of vein. This really is a movie that is made by horror fans. I say this all the time, for horror fans, and it's the fans that will drive the success or not success of the film. There's no studio behind us for this crazy marketing. This is the marketing. It's talking with you guys. It's just being myself. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, we've been promoted, guys.
Right? So it's like this is it is what it is. This is the film. If you guys enjoy it, then great. Talk about it. If you're excited, talk about it. Because
if we don't like it, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
But that's fine too. Because that helps us learn and grow as well. But that's why it's so important. When we say, hey, if you can just share it, it really is a simple share goes a very long way, because there's only a certain amount of people I can reach, but now we're on here and there's, a group of people you can reach and you can reach and you can reach. And then there's people that they can reach that are checking in. So that's really how you're able to do it. And if you're a fan of what we're doing, if you're a fan of indie horror, if you're a fan of, seeing new stuff, then, this is the way to get it right now, because the studios are only interested in, and I'll say it, I've said this many times, I'll see Halloween 87. I'll see Friday the 13th, 23. I'll see, Nightmare on Elm Street part, 51. But we also deserve as horror fans new stuff to kind of get behind. And that's what we're just lucky to be in a position to do that. And we don't want to kind of take that for granted. So we listen to our fans. We really do. I'll say Damien combs the internet, reads the reviews, takes everything in and says, okay, and I do the same thing, because it's so important to not only grow as a filmmaker and as an artist, but to also, hear what's resonating with the fans. And, Scream really is a love letter to our fan base, because we're, it's stuff that we want to see. And I think it shows in the casting choices and in the style of the movie. And, so we really worked hard and hope you guys dig it.
I have a feeling I will quite a bit. Honestly, just the trailer alone I thought was sick. And again, you mentioned how Hollywood just remakes the same thing, and they do, but we're seeing a lot of like original stuff, like with production companies like A24,
finally,
stuff like that. Yeah, finally, yes,
finally happy, because we were stuck for a long time
very long time. Not
even sequels. I was okay with the sequels. It was the reboots and the remakes and the recons. What I mean?
There's very few remakes out there or reboots that are decent.
Right, exactly. And there
very
are
few.
Some, and there are some, but there's not many. And again, it's I think there's
some are like better than the original. I'm sorry to say it, but there's some.
Listen, there are, but I think the amount that are better or that are good doesn't outweigh all of the other ones that are missing out on all that fresh content. So again, I was happy when we made the shift into sequels and we left the reboot world. Reimagining was another term they used. So I was happy when we left that world and went back to the sequels. And again, that's fine. I'll see them. But I think that there's a world where you should be able to then also get fresh stuff too. And people are seeing that, it's time. It's time to just be original again. It's okay if certain films remind you of films like you said.
Right. Exactly. Angel recently, and I just recently saw Longlegs. And I loved it. It definitely gave me some Silence of the Lambs vibes.
Yeah, and
that's not a bad thing at all. Like that's great.
Right.
I love that movie. Yeah.
On it, but it's like it's a new thing. Yeah. So and that's really what we're trying to do, obviously, with Terrifier. That's what we're trying to do with Stream. And again, it's just things that we want to see, things that we think are cool, and we're horror fans first and foremost. I grew up with horror. And I said, this might be cool to see. And, we just poured everything we could into it.
Yeah.
Started with what's it called? That's like Adam Green, his Hatchet and stuff. Every time he talks, he's like, I make a movie that I want to see as a horror fan. So it's like nothing, it's one of those things where you can't go wrong with that. It's
over the top crazy.
Yeah, and look at the fan base they got from that. You know what I mean? They have a great fan base. He spawned 4 movies. I'm sure 5 movies. I'm sure there's going to think 4. I think there's going to be another one at some point. I'm sure. you know, and that's great. You know, we have a new horror icon, and that was because of Adam Green. And, you know, that's awesome. So, you know what I mean? So I'm all for, you know, giving independent filmmakers, and that goes back to what we were talking about before, just exposure. Because for a long time, and I'm sure there are so many horror stuff that came out during that time that were super indie that none of us saw because they just didn't get the proper attention.
Yep.
And obviously oversaturation hurts things too. It's hard to cipher through it all. There's just so much content nowadays. So you got to.
I really think what helped Terrifier, the first one, was that it was like on Netflix. Yeah, that was back when Netflix was taking chances with independent filmmakers.
Netflix was huge for us. And then, you know, we got lucky and got theaters with the second one. And again, what helped that was, I think somebody passed out in theater. It was like,
I saw it on, I was scrolling through my Instagram feed and New York Post, and I was like, oh, these guys are fucking, they're here.
And that was a fun.
They're talking about people passing out, throwing up in the theaters. It's fucking over for them.
We went out to dinner that night. It was myself, Damien, my brother Jason. We were kind of celebrating. It was the first, you know, couple of days of it being in theaters. We were just celebrating the movie's out, it's done, all the hard work, and it's in a theater. How cool is that? You know, and then our phones start going off. Boom, 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 boom. And it was these articles of, because we were following the Terrifier, whatever, you can follow, you know, whatever's going on with it. And we were like, oh my God. We're like, this is crazy. And then all of a sudden the shots came out, the drinks came out, and we were like, that's great. You know, we couldn't have thought of something better than that. Like it was so organic, it was real, it just happened. Yeah. And then it kind of catapult, you know, we never went with that goal of make people pass out and vomit, but it happened.
If it happens, it happens. Right?
It brought the attention to it, and you know, I'm happy that it did, because we ended up finding that guy and sending him like shirts and stuff.
Oh, awesome. Really?
Yeah, we're like, we hope you're okay. We found that guy, and it was cool. Wrote him a letter, signed it, and stuff from the cast and crew.
Wow, that's sick.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I know.
Remember, hold your breath for Terrifier 3 so you can pass out.
Dude, I'm passing out.
It's like, I feel lightheaded. Here's my ticket stub. So just real quick, because Life is Pain, like I said, he's over in the UK. He just wanted to say that Terrifier is a masterpiece, truly incredible. The second one blew my mind. My friend who doesn't like horror laughed his head off at the movie. He's excited for the third one. We're all excited for the third one. Also, Block of Horror. I don't know if he's in the group or something for the for stream, but he's saying hi. So I do, because we are getting to the point close to where we have to wrap up. So I want to play the Red Band trailer real quick.
August 21st.
Yeah, August 24th. 24th? August 24th. See? Hey, forget about it. I'll shut up. But here's the Red Band trailer. It's only 47 seconds. We'll be back.
All bangers, bro.
Yeah, here we go.
Hey, bud, can you pause that for a second? I need your help.
Come on, Dad, I'm streaming.
Well, what's the big deal? It's just a game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we are running a game. Showtime!
Let the struggle begin.
Oh, sorry. Ooh. I'm in love with a trailer.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Jeffrey doing this thing. Giving me a little bit of Milton Daminers from the Frighteners.
He's so good. He's just, I was honestly an honor. I was in like just watching him every day work. And, you know, it's funny. He's actually texting me right now.
Oh, is he really?
What up? Tell him I said what up.
Yeah,
tell them crackers to shut their mouths.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's so down to earth. And just seeing him work as a horror fan was, you know what I mean? A front row seat to just, I mean, a mastermind and so creative and so talented. It was really cool to work with him.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. It's pretty sick.
So speaking of working, I was gonna ask earlier. So when you guys were filming this, so how did you like schedule everything out with such a big premise to the movie and all the moving pieces?
Yeah,
So, like,
it wasn't easy. One part that was good is that we were in pretty much one location for the most part for the whole film, obviously the hotel. So that made things a little easier. This is where COVID helped, was that nobody was really doing nothing outside of filming this movie because they couldn't. So scheduling and getting everybody there was pretty easy because once we went through the tests and everything and we were in the hotel, we were all kind of together in lockdown. So it was fairly easy in that aspect, I guess. But because there were so many people, there was a lot of moving parts and just being able to coordinate the kill scenes and the story scenes and you know what I mean? Like, because there was just so many people that were involved. But again, we've dealt with it with Normal Attraction before, and that film was actually much more difficult to schedule because it was a lot of locations. A lot of the actors in Normal Attraction never met each other, believe it or not. It was like we shot this side of the room, one time and with stand-ins and doubles. And then it was like, well, we have to shoot this scene another time in another area and mix them with like one person who was there both days. So this way you can tell that they're in the same location. Because we just didn't have the budget to tell people this is when you're coming, pay them the extra money to we kind of were just like, hey, whatever your schedule is, we'll make it work. With Stream, we got a little more lucky with it because of COVID, where we were able to get everybody together and there for the.
So I'm guessing every project has its own flaws and stuff, but did that help you out? Where it's like, okay, we did one with a lower budget with a bunch of cast. Like, did that help you in this?
Yeah, no, for sure.
At all, or
it did, for sure it did. It helped it, and not even just it helped also in just myself and how to approach certain things. Because every film you do, you learn something. Even from like Stream, I learned so much that I'm going to do next time when I direct a film. You know what I mean? Again, because it's constantly learning. If you're not learning and then
doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. I think you're always, especially in this business, it's always changing. You always have to grow. I learned so much from Terrifier 2 to Stream, from Stream to Terrifier 3, from Terrifier 3 to whatever's next. It's just, you're always taking in. And there's stuff that and the films take so long to come out in a way, you know what I mean? It takes at least a year, sometimes 2 or 3. You grow as a person in that time too. And time as well. So you say, oh, I would have done this different, or, oh, I wouldn't know how to approach that better. Or because you've handled that situation before, you just know how to deal with it.
Yeah. I mean,
awesome.
I wouldn't have been able to tell with Abnormal Attraction, by the way, that it was filmed like that. I think the movie's hilarious.
That's called magic.
Yeah, it was all. It was difficult, but we made it work. And I'm proud. I'm proud of that. That you weren't able to tell. And when I watch it, I feel like, and then I have to remind myself, like, oh yeah, this was like this here and there. Wow. So it came together.
Now I'm going to be looking for it.
Yeah,
but,
that's our DP, Steve Della Salla. Like, he knew how to light it to where it matched, and it was really it ended up being seamless, which is great.
That's cool. Speaking of future works, you're saying you're growing as an artist and your craft. So we touched on it earlier with the SCREAMBOAT. So where are we at with that as far as production or pre-pro?
It's shot. It's done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is shot. It's in post right now. I think I can say that.
You just did.
I did. So there it is. Breaking news. Yeah, what's funny is we went right into production. So we started Terrifier 3 in January shooting. And we went until May, maybe, or the end of April. I think it was the end of April. We've wrapped. We had 2 weeks off, and then May 1st or 2nd, somewhere in there, we started SCREAMBOAT.
Wow.
We finished that principal photography in like June, and then we just did some pickups recently. So yeah, it was a crazy stretch there.
You got anything to share with us right here? You got any screen shares?
I don't have any. It was funny. I'm not even editing the film. I got no footage. I got nothing.
Damn it.
And that's a thing too. Like, I mean, when the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey came out, you know, it definitely had mixed reviews, but it was one of those things where it caught everybody's minds. They're like, what the hell? And then they came out with the second one, and then they're talking about a Pooh-verse.
I know.
So then it's like Bambi and Peter Pan.
The second one was like a lot better too. Like, again, that's how you do it. That's, you know, you have a lower budget and you learn. And now look, now they have not only a franchise out of it, they have that Pooh-verse or whatever they're calling it.
So then when, you know, Steamboat Willie, and then it's just like, okay, now there's a bunch of stuff down the pipeline that's about to, you know.
Well, I saw a Bambi one listed. There's like Bambi one.
That's in that Pooh universe, the Pooh-verse they call it.
But Bambi wasn't part of
they found a niche and they're running with it, and it's cool. Look, again, it's cool that they're taking the chances. It's great that they got an awesome fan base that's following along, and this is what it's about. It's that exposure on these indie horror filmmakers, and then you get the most creative things out of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the longest time, I mean, it was the movies that were just like, what? Like Killer Clowns from Outer Space is my favorite horror movie. And it's just like, why? Because it just got that, not only the title gets you, but it's just like the premise around it. Like one of my newest favorite movies is Slaughterhouse, A Killer Sloth. And it's just
I just met the director. He came.
We had him on the show.
Really nice guy. We were Creepy
Wicked nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah, we were Creepy Con in Tennessee, where we debuted the Stream Red Band trailer. And he came up and he's like, hey, I'm director. I don't know if you heard of my film Slaughterhouse. I was like, I've heard of it. I said, I haven't watched it yet. I said, but I've heard of it.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun movie. Yeah.
I mean, that was
super cool.
That was the thing. It was like PG-13. So some your true blue horror fans or true like gore. They're like,
it was looking at like girls with like younger girls with like with sloths that like they like sloths and stuff, and like but now the horror fans turned out this whole thing was great.
I loved like it because me, you know, I like the encompassing of
also sometimes you just want to put something on that you don't have to like focus on fully. And if you've seen the movie a bunch of times, like that's something you could easily, like I can put Freaked on in the background anytime and I'll just randomly stop and quote something and continue cleaning the room. You know, like it's one of those movies where it's just like, all right, this is just fun time. You know, I can just have it on. And
it's just that one of it catches you. It's just like, okay, a killer sloth or this or that. So one of those movies where it's just like, okay, Winnie the Pooh, like a killer. Then like, it's just, you know, it's the ridiculous things that I will always remember as opposed to the cookie cutter where it's just like, okay, well, I've seen 500 movies that have that, 20 movies that are like that. It's like,
I'm telling you, if you don't end that Bambi movie with an homage to Bambi Meets Godzilla, then it's a disservice to everyone. That's how they should end the movie. It would be fantastic.
That's funny.
That would be great. I would love that. Anyways, it's about that time, guys. So Michael,
busy. Michael,
Michael. Besides obviously, you want him to go to iconicreleasings.com/events/streams/tickets.
I'm reading the ticket right now. It's
so am I. But yeah. So besides that, where can people go to find out what's going on with your production company and any other projects you guys got coming up? Or
yeah, for the main thing is if you just search Fuzz on the Lens Productions, you'll find everything from there. Obviously with Stream, it's at Stream Franchise, but either or. But Fuzz on the Lens is more broad, but you know, Terrifier and Stream and SCREAMBOAT and some of the other things we're working on. If you want Stream specific, it's Stream Franchise, and you can find me through all that too. My personal,
go back and celebrate Fuzz on the Lens its entire catalog.
Right.
If you would.
Do it.
For those of you who missed, definitely check out Abnormal Attraction. That's what, you know, was I got mine right over there.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
I'll do that.
That's awesome.
Hold on one
It's
second.
so cool to have fans.
It's cool because they give you like the coolest stuff, like if they're like really into it.
Oh my God.
No.
I have my brother naked.
That's awesome.
I love it.
There you go. But that would be, that's something that, you know, you'll have for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool. It's so
yeah.
cool.
And someone's saying that Jason was hilarious. I agree. That movie cracks me up. So
Yeah.
Jenny,
Jason's very fun. We got to do something with Finbar again. I miss him.
yes, I think we all do. So Angel, what about yourself? Where can people follow you?
Just go hit up That Strange Show on Instagram, or you can follow me at Chaos Manus, also on Instagram. I'm not really active pretty much anywhere else. And new episode dropping this Friday, which we're going to talk a little bit more about Stream. And don't forget, go buy your tickets August 21st. But yeah, that's about it. It's always an awesome time talking to you, dude.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I always enjoy it. We always have good conversations.
Yeah. Tony, yourself?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related you'll find on there. Tony Has Nine Fingers on X, which I don't use, but I say. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which is my, I guess, quickest growing, fastest growing social media. That's what I use the most. So find me there the most. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And of course, here on the Wicked Horror Show, whether we have awesome guests or it's just horror movie chit chat, most Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, definitely go check out Stream August 21st. Buy your tickets early. And of course, Kevin,
show some respect for some awesome movies. A-Knuckle on Instagram. Besides doing this show, which is on the Dorkening Podcast Network, as well as That Strange Show, which I'm also part of. I also do Re-Education of Nancy Ann Ritter, which has been a while since we've done a new episode, but it's still, as far as I know, it's still happening. Just whenever she's got a big con. This is her con time of year.
Bro.
So she hasn't been very, very much available, but that's about that. And then, we have some other stuff coming up that we'll talk about at a later date.
Yeah, that's coming up too.
But yeah, thanks for watching and listening, and go buy your tickets for Stream. And if you listen to this way after the fact, you lose.
Yeah, no, but go watch Stream. If you listen to this after it's at the theaters, find it wherever it is and go watch
Find it on like streaming somewhere, like pay for it, like through Amazon, where you can buy it for like $20 or something.
Yeah, we're talking future talk right now.
Yeah, I'm saying like after it's in theaters, where you can buy like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then when it comes out on physical media, you can buy that.
We're buying that. We're buying that for sure.
Tony will have it behind him. So
We're
talk about
working on VHSs too, actually.
Dude, I need one of those. I need one of those.
That I'm super stoked about.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. All right, well, thanks again, everyone, and have a good rest of your night. Bye. 1 second.